Once upon a time, in a seaside village, there lived a poor fisherman called Chike, a young man in his early 30s. He was very hardworking and resilient in nature. Out of all the fishermen in their village, Chike was the most hardworking, but he does not catch a single fish at the end of every day. Most times, he would travel a very far distance in the blue sea, hoping to cast his net and pull out a very huge number of fishes, but all to no avail. One day, as the sun was casting a golden glow over the waters, he sailed into a very far distance as usual. Saddened by his inability to catch fishes every day, he sluggishly casted his net into the water. After some moments, he tried to pull out and hopefully, the net was very heavy. It seems like the net was filled with a whole number of fishes. To his greatest surprise, it was a mermaid. A mermaid called Mandy was trapped into his net. She was very dizzy and weak. Her eyes were very beautiful, shining brightly like a diamond, and her hair looked like a golden silk. He brought her out from the net, and lost in his thoughts, he gazed at the mysterious creature lying in front of him. Her tail was very beautiful, covered with golden silk. As they walked past the seashore, she turned into a full human. The fisherman carried her to his house and took care of her until she regained strength. They became lovers as time went on, always engaging in deep conversations. One fateful night, as they sat by the seashore, the fisherman held her hands, their fingers intertwined, indicating a symbol of their union. Looking at her eyes were a reflection of the night sky. Then, in a calm tone, he professed his undying love for her and promised to always stand by her, no matter the circumstances. She smiled and promised to help him accomplish all that his heart yearns for. There was something very interesting about Mandy. She possessed some magical powers that enabled her to communicate with fishes in the deep sea. One day, she went fishing with Chike. As they sailed into the deep sea, he casted his net into the waters. Then, Mandy commanded a huge number of fishes into his net. Ever since he met the mermaid, his life never remained the same. He became the richest fisherman in his village, with many merchants always wanting to do business with him. With all the money he made from fishing, he relocated to the city with Mandy and set up a business that fetched him more money. He became a rich man, a philanthropist, and a well-respected business tycoon. Months later, he started having an affair with one of his female workers named Amaka, a very beautiful lady who was working as his secretary in the office. He became too committed with his relationship with Amaka and got married to her, leaving the mermaid with reckless abandon, not knowing that she was monitoring all his moves. He was still on honeymoon with his newly married wife when an email popped up on his phone saying that his company was on fire. On getting to the spot, he saw the fire services putting off the fire, but unfortunately, all his documents were burnt to ashes. Every other investment he had were technically destroyed by the mermaid. One very particular evening, as the sun was starting to make room for the night, Chike drove down to his house where he lived with Amaka. Suddenly, it was as if his car was controlled by an external force. There in front of his car was Mandy, fully transformed into a mermaid. Her eyes were burning with rage that could scorch his soul. The mermaid's power were too great. Fire and water oozed out from his car as his body was burned into ashes. When it comes to love, mermaids do not take kindly anyone who dares to break their promises. Their vengeance will be swift and terrible. Chike lost everything including his life, leaving Amaka a widow at a very young age.